Welcome back once again, all of my low carb friends, and for those of you who are here for the first time, welcome. Today I have another very easy appetizer slash side dish recipe, whatever you want to use it as. Today I am going to show you how to make quick, easy, keto loaded potato substitute. And if you want a printable version of this recipe, you can check out my website at janet'sdeliciouslowcarbkitchen.com. You can find a printable version of this recipe and other goodies there for you. And if you're new to the channel and you want to see lots of easy, delicious, low-carb keto recipes, make sure you click that subscribe button and click the notification bell that's right next to the subscribe button. That way you can be notified every time I put out videos, at least every Wednesday and Saturday. And if you'd like to help support the channel, make sure you scroll down in the description of the video. You'll see some affiliate links. Anytime you purchase anything using those affiliate links, a small portion of your purchase will go to me and help support the channel. So while you do all that, let's get cooking. Preheat your oven to 425 degrees. Line a large baking sheet with parchment paper or foil and lightly spray the paper with cooking spray. Thoroughly wash and peel a 1-pound jicama, then slice it into your desired size wedges or strips. I make mine roughly around the size of a fat fry. You can make yours whatever size you want. If you don't have jicama or don't want to use jicama, you can use turnips or pretty much any other firm vegetable of your choice. Place the jicama or the vegetable of your choice into a 3-quart casserole dish. Make sure when you are placing it in the casserole dish that you spread your jicama or your vegetable of choice out into a single layer. You don't want these stacked on top of each other. Pour enough water into the casserole dish to fully cover the jicama or the vegetable of your choice. For me, it was roughly about 4 cups of water. You just want it to completely cover the jicama. Pre-cook in your preheated oven at 425 degrees for about 10 minutes or until the jicama is fork tender. The times can vary depending on how thick you sliced your jicama and whether or not you're using another vegetable rather than jicama. You're basically just wanting your jicama or your vegetable of choice to be soft enough where you can put a fork through it. Now, if you are using a vegetable other than jicama, you may not even need to pre-soften your vegetable. It really just depends on how firm the vegetable is that you're using. Jicama and turnips, they're a very firm, sturdy vegetable, so they do need to be softened a little bit. Once the jicama is pre-softened, remove it from the oven. Allow it to cool for about 3 to 5 minutes, just enough so you can touch it without burning your fingers. Then carefully pour the jicama into a colander and fully drain the water out from the jicama. Be careful when you're doing this, the water will still be very hot. Then keep your jicama in your colander and let it continue to drain the water out and let it cool until it's easily enough to fully handle without burning your fingers. Keep your oven preheated to 425 degrees. Place the warm jicama or the vegetable of your choice into a large mixing bowl. Drizzle 30 milliliters or around 2 tablespoons of olive oil or the oil of your choice over the jicama or whatever vegetable you're using. Then use a wooden spoon or your hands and toss the jicama or the vegetable of choice until all the slices are fully coated with the oil. Gradually sprinkle in 1 tablespoon of dry Italian seasonings or whatever seasonings you want to use. I'm using a ½ teaspoon each of garlic powder, paprika, dry oregano, onion powder, and chili powder. You can use whatever seasonings you want. You can also adjust them more or less according to your personal taste. When you are adding these dry seasonings, just do it a little bit at a time. Sprinkle in a little bit. Stir the jicama or your vegetable that you're using until the seasonings are combined. Then add a little bit more and continue to do that until all of your seasonings are added and all the slices of your jicama or whatever vegetable you're using is fully coated with the seasonings. Add salt and pepper to taste. Again, stir or toss the slices to fully coat with the salt and pepper. Place the seasoned jicama or whatever vegetable you're using in a single layer onto your prepared baking sheet. Again, make sure this is in a single layer. You want all the slices to cook evenly So you don't want them all bunched together on top of each other. Spread them out so they're in a nice single layer. Then place in your preheated oven. Bake at 425 degrees for 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, carefully turn the jicama over. They will be hot, of course, so make sure you're careful when you're turning it. I just use a wooden spoon and kind of flip them around until they're turned over. Place them back into your oven and bake another 10 minutes or until the jicama is golden on the outside and soft. Think of a potato. This is what we're trying to replicate. A jicama or a turnip, they're not going to get quite as soft as a potato, but they should soften pretty close to the texture of a potato. Your times are going to vary, again, depending on the thickness of your jicama and whatever vegetable you're using. If you're using a vegetable other than jicama, you may not need to cook it as long. So check it at about the 7-minute marker and then go from there as to how much time you would need to bake it if you're using a vegetable other than jicama. Your jicama or whatever vegetable you're using, by the time it's all done being baked on both sides, should have a firmness to it, but still be soft enough to where you could easily cut it with a fork. So if you were to put your fork through it and try to cut off a piece of your vegetable, it should easily do that. You shouldn't have to feel like you're forcing your fork through. Once your jicama or the vegetables that you're using are golden and baked, remove them from the oven, then push the jicama wedges or whatever vegetable you're using, push them close together in the center of your baking sheet. Again, make sure you keep them in a single layer. You're just wanting them in a close proximity of each other so that when we sprinkle on the toppings, it will get on all the slices and not get on your baking sheet as much and get pieces of the topping burnt. Again, when you're doing this, be careful. Obviously, they will be hot. Once your jicama wedges are pushed all together in the center of your baking sheet, then sprinkle on your desired amount of cheese of your choice. I'm using roughly around 1 cup of Colby cheese. You can use whatever cheese you want. You can also use more or less according to how much cheese you want on your potato substitute. Once you have the cheese evenly sprinkled, then crumble up 1 to 2 slices of cooked bacon and sprinkle it evenly over the top of the cheese. Again, with the bacon, you can adjust it more or less depending on how much bacon you want on your potato substitute. Once you have your desired amount of cheese and bacon, then place the potato substitute back into the oven and bake at 425 degrees for around 2 to 3 minutes or until the cheese is completely melted. Be careful not to keep it in too long because your cheese can go from melted to burnt around the edges real fast. After the cheese is fully melted, remove the potato substitute from the oven. Allow it to cool on the pan for just about 5 minutes or so, just so you don't burn your fingers. Place your desired amount of the loaded potato substitute on your serving plates. If you want to, you can top it with some extra toppings. I like to top it with some sour cream and chives or some chopped green onions, whatever toppings you want to put on top of it. If you want to put any extra toppings, that is up to you. You want to serve these warm. You can eat these immediately. If you do have any leftovers, allow them to cool completely, then store them in an airtight container in your refrigerator for up to 3 days. Eat and enjoy. And that's our recipe of the day. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did and you want to see more videos like this, make sure you click that thumbs up like button, click that subscribe button, leave me a comment if you want to. Let me know if there's any recipes that you'd like to learn how to make, and I'll do what I can to get those out there for you. And as always, keep cooking.